It's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. Today is Sunday, April the 18th, and we've came through some pretty cool nights and days. But today is pretty, and tomorrow is supposed to be pretty right up until tomorrow evening, and then it's supposed to get cold again, and we have a chance of a freeze, and we also have a chance of snow. I was very much dreading laying this hoses everywhere in the hot, because the heat had started to come on, although it's most people have forgotten that it did because it's been cold for a while. But that cool gave it a time where the growth slowed down, so it didn't get so big before I got some of my hoses. And I have not finished. I definitely haven't got it done, but I've got a lot of it done, and hopefully I will do more maybe tomorrow. If not, that we're also supposed to have cool weather for another week. So I think God just kind of gave me some time to get some things done that I had not gotten done in the garden. And so I'm hoping that I'll be able to keep all this. I'm going to try to water everything down tomorrow, and I watered where I have my hoses. I watered that today, except for some of them that I don't yet have set up. I don't have the holes in this one right here, but I'm hoping to get all of that done within the next week, if at all possible. And also it gave me some time to paint some of my little garden art that I had left unpainted, that I just did not get around to for various reasons, either sickness or whatever we had going. I just didn't get it done. But I have it done now, and that's a great feeling too. I'll get to put those out here when I start making up my pots. They'll have their little garden art in with them, which, you know, that's what I like to do. I like to have a garden art for nearly every pot. But this one was the main one that I wanted something, or I knew I wanted something on it, but actually I want the same one thing on it that I had, but she needed to be painted so badly. And I was just going to put her back out here and hope that next year maybe I would get it done. But I did get her painted, and I'm anxious to get her back out here on her post and get pretty flowers all around her. That'll be another week now before I do that, but I think I'll just be more ready. There are several things that I would like to go ahead and cover again also. I have about ran out of room to put anything inside, but I may find some for some of this. But this, I think that I will just go ahead and cover it. But I don't want to end up losing this again, because it just about got wiped out that last time that we had a freeze, for a 10-day freeze. See if I can get these a little better where you can see it. But it almost got it, but it didn't. This, if it'll stay just like this, that will spread and continue to go ahead and fill up this little pot. And same with this one, even though it's not doing much right now. Look at this gorgeous little one right here. And I think these will liven up, and I may be wrong, because that freeze was something they've never been through. At least not in my possession. So hopefully they will. If not, I think they will actually fill it out with this little one, but we'll have to see. And hopefully, you know, I'll have to be able to keep that through the next freeze. my sister and my niece went together and got me something for the garden. And I'm so anxious to see what it is, but I think I'm going to have to wait till next Saturday before I take a trip over and pick it up. So we'll see how that goes. If I have time in between there, I'll do it. But I've got to be busy in the garden, taking care of it, trying to make sure that it makes it through this next cold spell. I was actually very lucky that I hadn't got any deeper into spring planting than I did, because I do have this little pot and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I may just wrap it up and hope that'll do it, or I may see if I can't find some place inside to fit it just for a night, because I think that there's only one night it's supposed to get down to freezing, but it's supposed to be real cold most of the week, at least parts of most of the week. But luckily all the little plants that I bought at the nurseries are safely inside, and I'll have another chance to get them out here. Of course, they also have to survive living in my house for a week, and I'm not good with house plants, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I had also divided and transplanted some of my yarrow and a few things, and I need to get these watered in better because it started raining right when I put these in. So I had to do a quick battery change. But I was saying that I was hoping that the rain would water these in good for me, but it didn't rain long enough. It started out like it was going to be a good little rain, but it just didn't last much longer than giving me time to get in the house. We actually only got a ½ inch of rain, 2 1/4-inch times of it raining, and actually I'm not sure if we're supposed to get more rain. I think the forecast is more for snow. I have so many little peony buds. I certainly hope that freeze doesn't nip them in the bud and I don't get to see all these beautiful blooms. And I have several things just building their root. These look like they may have already built their root because they're leaving that little wilted state and kind of straightening themselves up. So I hope I don't lose those two to the frost. But that's just something gardeners have to deal with every single spring. Usually by April the 15th we're out of the danger of the frost, but that's not ever a given, and this year it very well may not happen that way because it is in the forecast to have that for Monday night and Tuesday. My little bridal spirea is looking great. My sister sent me a picture of hers, and I have put mine out. I didn't realize it would get quite so big, and I put it out a little too close to my pathway, so we have to cut ours back quite a bit each year so that it doesn't come too much out in our pathway that we can't use it. And I thought my little roses that were going up this little arch were gone, as you can see. A big part of them are gone, but then I saw that this one is coming up from the bottom, so we'll trim that top off and let this come on up. And then over on this side, I did not see any until today, and if I can find it for you, way down at the very bottom, the rose is coming back, so that's great. There's some more of the beautiful peony buds that I hope will still get their chance to form beautiful blooms. And there's another little pot. It's small enough if I can just remember to. I think I can find a spot to bring this inside. This too is another one where I've transplanted some Gaura in this pot. And even though it looks terrible, it also looks like it may have built a root. I hope it did and that it'll survive this coming freeze. Oh, look, the little lily of the valleys are putting on their sweet little blooms that smell so wonderful. And the snowball bush. I'll have to wet it down good and hope for the best. And this little pot, I need to bring it in if I can, because these are the beautiful little bells of Ireland, and I don't want them to freeze out. And then of course this is another pot that will need to be brought in. This is primrose, the early spring blooming primrose, and its bloom is almost gone, but I would like to keep this little foliage alive. And I know it will probably go dormant soon because it doesn't do anything in the heat. But if it doesn't die, get frozen out, it will come back next spring. So as anxious as I am to get started planting and transplanting, this will give me a good little break to hopefully relax from all the cleanup a little bit, and then also to feel like getting out here and doing all this in another week's time. I would like to take some of the tops off of this to start my little pots that I was showing you a bit ago in the front, because I would like this all started inside them. And I'm glad I didn't go ahead and do that. I had thought about it several times, but I didn't do it yet. So I think it will make it fine here if I water it down, and then be able to come back up over in my window boxes, and the little window boxes I have down at the front of my railroad ties in the front of the house. That's the plan. I'll also need this next week to finish laying out my hoses and poking the holes in them. That's my major undertaking for this spring, that I hope to get that done, and I hope it will work for me this time, so that I will have more time to enjoy the garden, less time to just totally spend the whole time watering. But I'll still have to water everything above ground, but if that would work for just the in-ground plants, that would be great. Oh, look what I'm seeing. If I can go over there with this camera so you can see it. I see a Dutch iris in bloom. What a sweet surprise. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.